Right. Hello, this is Eric White, and this is part two to why I left Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm going to try to make my videos 8 minutes to 10 minutes long, maybe longer. My memory is kind of low, so if the video cuts off, please continue to the next part. And thank you for watching. So I left off saying why I'm angry. With the organization, because I feel manipulated, feel lied that I was lied to. I left years ago. I want to make that clear. I left years ago. I'm just telling my story now because I see so many other ex-witnesses, and I think it's important to share your story. So, growing up, my mom, she studied early 70s. She met my father around the same time, I believe, and he studied kind of, sort of. He never got into it, and he would warn my mom, "Hey, be careful. This is a cult, whatever." But she studied. She also studied with the Muslims and other religions, but she chose the witnesses. My older brother, he was obviously the first one who was, pioneering and all that stuff, and he's still active today. My other siblings are still active today. I'm the only one that's not in the religion. So we all grew up going to meetings, going to field service, being indoctrinated and learning, And I give credit where credit's due. Okay, I didn't have the worst childhood. I think it's a good thing to have standards, to have morals. So we had that, maybe to the extreme on some cases, but we had that, so I give credit to that, to the religion when it comes to certain things, to have certain structures and balance, kind of. So I give credit where credit's due. Obviously, I have issues overall when it comes to the religion, without getting into. So, and also I give credit to my parents, but you can also learn things from other organizations, other religions, also in your household. So I just want to make that clear, and I want to make clear that, I understand, being baptized is a big deal. It's a serious thing. I wasn't baptized, but I understand the difference between a baptized person and when it comes to shunning, when it comes to certain things, I get that. I believe I get that. So I respect a baptized witness or an ex-baptized witness. So I grew up in it, hated going to the meetings, hated field service, the big conventions. I remember, at the time it was like 4 days long, maybe 5, during the mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but yeah, during the mid 80s, yeah, it was like 4 days long for the convention, maybe 5. And I looked forward for the drama, for the free food we got during the time, the hoagies, the danishes, when the organization had money, I believe. So I looked forward to the free food. Some families would take home more food than needed. So yeah, growing up, yeah, I just went through the ropes, going to the meetings, the routine, not celebrating holidays. We got away with some things because my father wasn't, a witness, and he would allow us to have toys sometimes or whatever. But it was still strict enough where, maybe not compared to some witness families, but it was still strict. The guilt that we felt, the guilt that I felt constantly as a child. So yeah, just growing up, I went through the ropes, and finally, as I got a little older, maybe my also, yeah, we was told the end of the world was coming, right? During the 80s, early 90s, it's coming, it's just around the corner, and and as a child, as a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, I'm like, oh, it's going to come tomorrow, in my mind. So the fear tactics, so growing as I got older, early teens, I felt a lot of guilt, insecurities, not just from the religion, but just probably just in general from other reasons. But You know, I wasn't the most behaved child, you know, but my father would warn us when it came to the religion, and we didn't believe him. You know, he's the worldly guy, you know, and but as I got as early teens, you know, I felt a lot of guilt, a lot of insecurities. I would close my eyes for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and open them up and pretend I'm someone else because I didn't like myself, right? I wasn't good enough or something. You know, I wanted to be like the other brother or somebody else. You know, and yeah, I just felt insecure for all types of reasons, probably. But finally, as I got older, as a mid-teen, late teen, you know, I started to study on my own. I also had to study with an elder, good guy at the hall, and you know, not just with my mom's influence. I was studying on my own. And by the way, my mom and dad, they're still together today. You know, they worked things out, and my other siblings are still so active. And but yeah, so I would study on my own. I would start preaching in high school. Okay, so I would get the fanny pack. You know, this is when the fanny pack was not as popular anymore. You know, but you can probably get away with it during the mid-90s. So I would have my fanny pack, and I would put the little Bible into the fanny pack, my tracts, my Bible scriptures, and I would preach in high school. You know, they would call me preacher. Here comes preacher, and I wasn't baptized. You know, I probably wasn't even an unbaptized publisher. I would preach. I gave talks, obviously, and you know, even a couple of times, once at least, I would direct a field service because there was no brother or something like at the time, or he was late or something, and you know, so I you know, I wasn't a pioneer, I wasn't baptized, you know, but I was involved later on, in a lot of ways. Got my donations, you know, believed in the truth, in the truth. So I preached in high school. I had, you know, I had my doubts overall, not just with the organization, but with the Bible, with God in general. So always would push those doubts down, obviously in the back of my head or down in my, you know, my lower beings. But you know, I'm like, whatever, you know, this is the truth. You know, the organization, they're guided by God. So I had one potential study in high school, and he was interested, and you know, I would show him scriptures, and I would get in debates with other kids, but I would show him the scriptures, and I would say, the end of the world's coming, and et cetera, et cetera. And we had one topic on authority, and I said, hey, you know, we got to respect our authority. I showed him the Elijah's story, you know, and how the children was disrespectful to Elijah, and how God sent the she-bears and tore them to pieces. And he said, what? Like, why would God do that? And he was like, wow, what? And I'm like, well, I try to explain, you know, hey, this is, you know, this is why God did it, and God is righteous. He knows what he's doing. He's loving. You know, he's like, what? No. He's like, no. So he didn't want nothing to do with the religion or the Bible, whatever, or the religion at least. But and when he said that, I said, well, I kind of thought to myself, he's kind of right. It's kind of extreme, you know, that God will destroy these kids because of their being blasphemous. You know, he's a prophet, whatever. And so, but at the time, it's like, whatever, you know, God knows what he's doing. So I would push it in the back of my head. So questions would start to come up, doubts would start to happen. But I would try to I would ask the question to the elder, you know, and I would get a half answers or whatever, and I would do my research, get half answers or no answers, or just confusion, right, or contradiction. So I will get into that in my next video. My doubts, and because at the time I was really active, preaching in high school. Some of the baptized kids, you know, their behavior was questionable and everything, and in high school, but me and maybe another kid were preaching in school, maybe my younger brother. But I started having questions, so please check out my next video. Thank you for watching.